Okay, now we're ready to start to cut out this design. Now, this skip tooth saw blade, while it's a small saw blade, is pretty large by jewelry standards. So when you're in here cutting some of these finer sort of little details out, you're going to have to be very careful not to go into your design. It's more important to leave extra wax than it is to get a real close cut, because you can't add the wax back in and it's very easy to file it off. So when I'm going to go in here cutting, I'm going to try to leave just a little micro fraction of white between the black of my silhouette, so that when I go to file, I've got enough wax there. The other thing that happens if you don't leave enough space is your saw leans in your frame a little when you're cutting, and because this is so thick, you'll notice that left and right lean in the cut, and it'll be thicker or thinner. So you got to be really focused on keeping it straight up and down and leaving plenty of material next to your design. So I'm going to cut really slow here. I'll show you how much material I'm trying to leave behind. And I don't cut in the same way with the wax blade either. I very rarely use full strokes because it's not really necessary. So I'm leaving really close. Probably should have cut that little delicate part first, but we'll see. So you can see I'm cutting really close, but I'm not, I don't know if you can see. So I'm cutting close, but see how much space I'm leaving from the edge? Because I want to be able to file that, maybe even come in with my saw afterward as I'm starting to try to get everything just right. But right now I'm just getting it as close as I can while still leaving some extra material outside of my actual line. Because every once in a while you just make a cut that just goes straight, or when you're trying to turn or something like that. And we're just going to leave enough material to correct any of those errors from this saw blade. Delicate over here at the end. It's already starting to get delicate. At this point, I'm just going to take off this little extra bit here because it's already giving me trouble. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove part of what I've cut out so far, because it's just making it a little bit easier to get rid of this extra bit here and continue to cutting this out. So now I'm going to come across here, leaving plenty of room just in case I got to make corrections. I got a correction right there. This one all the way to the other side too. Now I've got left is that little bit, and this is going to get very delicate up in that point, so I'm going to have to be very careful there. I want to make sure I've got it. That's the last thing I'm doing. So I'm going to go through this way, actually turn and start cutting here. Get this little rounded part off. Here, be very careful. I'm going to start off with this arc here, I think. Thanks. Now this is where it's going to get real delicate. I successfully cut out this little shamrock. And you can see I left a nice little edge all the way around just to make sure there was enough material there, because if you look in here this way, you can see that some of this stuff came down at an angle instead of straight up and down. So when I go to file everything and clean it up, I'll have enough material to straighten that out.